Hello, hello friends. This is Grace coming to you live, hopefully on the Essential Stencil page. I'm from the Comfy Nest with Grace Kurtz. I'm going to be doing some gift tags tonight. We're going to do paper gift tags, wood gift tags, and we're going to do something really different with them tonight. I just want to make sure that things are running correctly. So let me make sure that I'm live and then we'll get started. All right, it looks good. All right, and let me see if anybody's out there. If you can just let me know that you're there, say hello, so that I can see, hopefully I can see comments. Hey, Janet from Washington. Hello, hello. My test comment just went through, so that's good. All right, things are looking good. I don't know why I can't always see comments today. Earlier, I did a giveaway, a Secret Santa giveaway of one of the port signs, and could not see any of your comments, but right now I can. Thank you, Janet, for sharing, for sprinkling. I appreciate it. You guys, we're going to work with these gift tags. I got these gift tags from Craft Deals. They're so cool. They're nice and thick. I want to work with these, and I wanted to show you how with paper. I bought this paper, this set of paper. Oh, let me see if I can flip this camera. It wouldn't let me do it earlier, but we'll just cross our fingers and hope it will. No, it's not letting me do it now either. Darn it. You watched it with some. That's good. Okay, so this is just a pack of paper, you guys. It's just like a cream colored solid cardstock paper. White Dove is the name of the color. Cardstock paper. It's 5.5 by 7.5. I'm going to show you how I made some gift tags with these too. They come out really cute. Hey, Sue from Minnesota. Hello, Tracy. And there's Stephanie in Michigan. And Jerry. Hello, hello. Hey, Robin. All right, I'll give away 3 sets or 3 stencils. What I'll do before we finish up, I will pull 3 names, and Essential Stencil will send to those 3 people a set of stencils. You guys just have to give us your mailing address and email address so that we can get those off to you. So what do I need to tell you about? So, hey, Betty, how are you? Hi there. So glad you're here. Okay. Did I paint the Christmas cow? I did. Oh, my chair is in the way. Hold on. I did paint this little Christmas cow. Isn't it cute? Isn't it cute? My husband said his hair is a little wild. Her hair is a little wild. I said, yeah, it is, but I like it. I think it's super cute. Thank you for noticing. I have it like on one of these 3M strips that I don't necessarily always trust that these 3M strips will stay in place. But so far, so good. Okay, hey, Peggy, how are you? Hey, Regina in Illinois. And Brenda's here. Okay, let's do it. So I just needed to let you know, I'm going to be doing, it's going to be a little weird, a little strange. We're going to use a little Mod Podge on these tags, and I'm going to show you how to Mod Podge a map, which I love. I think it's such a really fun idea, especially for a gift tag or an ornament, to use a local map so that you can give somebody, or a map of, maybe it's not local to where someone is now, but for me, like, I'm going to do the map of Boston. I grew up in Boston, and so I'm going to do the map of Boston tonight, and it's a gift for me. Hey, Joyce Ann in Kentucky. Thank you, Linda. That's sweet of you to say. And I want to update everybody to let you know, today and tomorrow are the last, not 3 days, last 2 days, tonight and tomorrow. So the 20th at midnight, last day to get the stencil that I designed for the Stencil of the Month Club, which is the Build a Snowman with the tree. And the bonus one is Shine Bright Like a Diamond. And I did this one with, it's like a sparkly, I used a sparkly 12 by 12 scrapbook paper, and I did that extra. I just so wish this would read right for you guys. I wish this would flip, and I don't know why it won't flip. I don't know why. I can't tell you why. It's not flipping now. Hey, from New Hampshire. Who just came on from New Hampshire? Elizabeth. Hello, hello. Hey, Cheryl in Texas. So let me just show the stencils to you. I made all kinds of projects with the snowmen. It's a Build a Snowman. I did that one on a board. I showed those in the Stencil of the Month Club, how to attach the rope on the back today. This is on a canvas panel, and it says, let nothing dim the light that shines from within. And then I did the tags. I have all kinds of projects going with these snowmen. I'm going to put these aside because I'm not going to work with these tonight, but I needed to let you know that if you want this set, tonight and tomorrow, if you're not in the club yet, tonight and tomorrow are the last 2 days that you can get this set, and then we'll be on to the January set. So this set includes that phrase with the build a snowman, the big snowman and the tree with the star, the whimsical tree. Then it comes with all of the accessories to build the snowman. And then it comes with an extra snowman, a little one, but it has several different faces and a bow tie and the buttons and a necktie and a scarf and several different hats and arms and noses. And then it has the background, which is those stars and snowflakes. Jason says, I love Mod Podge and Liquitex too. Loved watching you do all these projects. Thank you, Janet. Ruth says she loves the tags. Good. Okay, and this is the other one. This is the bonus. If you choose to get the bonus stencil, this one's Shine Bright Like a Diamond. Last 2 days are today and tomorrow. Then you're into the January set. Either way, they're fabulous. But once this goes away, you probably won't be able to get your hands on them. I had somebody emailing me today. Can you please see if Essential Stencil will print more of, they wanted something particular that's gone. And I said, that's it. Once the run is out, it's out. So if you want in on the snowman, you need to join the club. You can join for 1 month, for 3 months, or 6 months and get the apron. Let me show you the apron. Hold on. I'll get it for you. I forget to put it on. Here's the apron. It's so cute. If you sign up and prepay for the 6-month program, you get the apron too. But I wanted to remind you of that. Let's get crafting though. Thank you, Anne. She says she loves watching. Why does my transfer curl after I use them? What am I doing wrong? Your stencils? I don't know why they would curl. These are really thick Mylar. They shouldn't curl when you're using them. Hello, Amy in Arkansas. Thank you for sharing, Sonia. I so appreciate that. Oh, she says, Barbara says, I love that stencil set. I'm so glad I joined. Well, thank you. That was the set that I designed, and I'm so thrilled to have done that for you guys. It was so fun to put together and so fun to play with, the snowmen, right? We're doing snowmen in the my craft therapy group this month, and I have a few different versions of this for January that I've been practicing and getting ready for this month. But let's get to the tags. So these tags come from Craft Deals. They're pretty darn thick. They fit perfectly. Let me show you. These are the mini tags. We're going to do something really fun with them, but they fit perfectly, these mini tags from Essential Stencil, and we have several sets of mini tags that you can use, right? There's the Noel, Peace and Joy. We have the one that's Believe with the deer head and the merry and bright. There are several sets of these, and you get 3 in each set. Ho, ho, ho. Oh, this one's upside down. Ho, ho, ho. Wait a minute. I did it again. Milk and Cookies and the Santa head. And I'm sorry they're backwards. I don't know why I can't switch it over, but I can't tonight. The Merry Christmas, the Tree Farm, and the third one says Farm Fresh Christmas Trees. These fit perfectly on the tags that come from Craft Deals, but we're going to do something a little bit different with these. So I'm going to do 2 projects, something with the wood tags, and then we're going to do some paper tags. Oh my gosh, Maureen says she's made 9 gifts for family and friends with the snowman set. I'm so glad. Hey Lisa, she says she loves her mini tags. So glad. I do have a discount code for the tags. I attached the link and the code to the description of this video. So when the live feed is over, you can go and see that, or private message me later and I'll send you that link. Hey, Kathy in Southern Ohio. Okay, look at my map. I'm going to put this camera down so you guys can see my map. All right. Hey, thank you for the hearts, you guys. So I have my cutting board here. I have a map. And here's what I'm going to do. Okay, I love working with maps. I've always loved to read maps. And then when we got GPS technology, like map reading has kind of gone to the wayside because we don't need to read maps. MapQuest does it for us, or our map app on our phone or GPS. But I still love maps. I love them. And this little map is one I picked up from Alamo, and we rented a car last time I went home to visit my family. And so they give you this map so that you can get out of the Logan International Airport. Well, I know how to get out, but I always take the map, and I was thinking I would do something really fun with the map. So what I want to do is make a gift tag. I grew up this little town called Chelsea, right outside of Boston. It's like right there, just north of Boston. Grew up there, and now my family lives in Malden and Lawrence and all these little towns. Melrose and all these little towns around Boston. So I want to make a tag of that because that's my hometown. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically put the tag on top of the map to figure out where I want to position it. First I started out this way with the map going horizontally, but then I couldn't fit in, like my sister lives in Danvers, I have a brother in Gloucester, I come from a big family, and I really wanted to get a lot of those towns in, but if I go west, I can't do that. My family is mostly north of Boston, so I figured I would go up and down with this. You figure where your tag is going to go, and then what I do is I come in, I'm on a cutting board. This is a quilting cutting board, so I can cut safely on here. I'm going to basically position this with Boston, and I want Massachusetts Bay. I want the harbor in there. Marblehead's going to get in there. If anybody's from Boston, you can let me know. I'm going to get all of that in there, and I'm going to use an X-Acto knife, and I'm going to cut out the exact size that I need to cover this tag. You'll see, this is going to be really fun. You will see, I love to work with maps. I love to work with Mod Podge. My X-Acto knife keeps, I think that the blade is a little loose because it keeps repositioning on me, but I'm not going to monkey with that right now. I'm just going to try to get through cutting what I need out of this paper. So I should be able to push this out. Awesome. So I'm done with the map now. I love using local maps, you guys. I love it. I think it's so fun. So now when I do this, I'm going to Mod Podge this on here, and it has the map of Boston and all of the towns that I grew up. These are my neighborhoods. And Mod Podge, you guys know I like to use the matte Mod Podge, and I've had my little I just use my regular paintbrushes with the Mod Podge, and it cleans up pretty easily. So I never, it's a water-based sealer, so I never worry about it not cleaning up well. But what I do is I just get a bit of Mod Podge, and I'm going to put it on the wood. I'm going to put it on the wood and get it really saturated. You guys, I can't see your comments right now because I'm doing the project, but I'll check in a second here and see if there's any questions to answer to or any info that you guys need. Stencil of the Month Club, it's been open now. It opened on November 15th is when it launched. We're into our second month of design. It's an exclusive design that you can't buy anywhere else. So if you like the designs that you see when we're telling you about it, you have to join the club to get those designs. And you can join for 1 month, you can join for 3 months, you can join for 6 months, and you can cancel anytime. But to get those exclusive stencils, you have to be in that club. So tonight, I was going to make sure to tell you about that, and then we're going to have some fun with these tags and the little tag stencils. So now I've got the Mod Podge on there. I'm going to put down my map, and when you first put it down, you can kind of wiggle it around. It moves on the board. So I usually just, with my fingers before I press it into the board, I just push it around so that I make sure all the parts are covered nicely, and it's cut exactly to size, because I use the X-Acto knife. Now you just need to make sure you don't have a lot of creases and bubbles. So starting from the inside out, I usually push down. And you know what? I'll be honest with you, with Mod Podge, I get bubbles. I do sometimes get bubbles, but with these maps, you're gonna see I'm gonna distress this so it looks really kind of old and well used. Even though it's kind of a new map, it's gonna look old and well used. You're gonna see how I do it. It's really fun. The other thing is, you guys, when you stop at the rest areas in your home state, or if you're visiting a state and you stop at the rest areas, they usually have state maps there. And this one I have cut up and used. This is one of North Dakota. And I have used, look how much of it I have used. I've used so much of this map making projects. I have more fun with this. And you know, like sometimes they will point out they'll zoom in on just a city, and it's really fun if somebody's from a city to take their city map and make them a little gift tag and put something on top of it. Thank you. Penny says she loves it. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Who just said that? Joy Sand said, what a great idea. Now I know what to do with my Christmas cards. Oh my gosh, I love to share ideas with you guys. Vanessa says, very, very clever. I'm always learning from you, Robin says. Thank you for sharing all your ideas. I love to. Okay, this has to dry. I want that Mod Podge to dry on there, so I'm going to let this one sit. I wanted you to see how I cut it so that it's perfectly shaped. So you saw how I did that. I put the map down, put the tag on top of it, positioned about what I wanted on the map, and then used my X-Acto knife to cut. And I use it's like a little quilting cut board. These little, like, they're usually double-sided, and they always have the measurements on them, and they come in different sizes, and they're self-healing cutting mats. So now that I've got that on there, I'm going to let that dry for a minute. I already did one earlier. Let me see if I can find my other one. This one has been Mod Podged for a few hours, and this is part of the state of North Dakota. So it's been dry on there, and to get my hole, you know, these come pre-cut with holes from Craft Deals, to get my hole back, like you can see where I'm going to put my string or my ribbon, or I just stuck my X-Acto in there and turned the sharp edge of that X-Acto around until I opened that hole back up. So now I have my hole back. I'm going to show you how to distress this to make it look older than it is. Like, it looks really new right now, crisp and clean map. We're going to make it look really old. We're going to make it look really old. Marcia says, I would love to do this at the places we've been blessed to go on mission trips. Oh my gosh, that's a lovely idea, Marcia. That would make a really great Christmas, right? To be able to put these together as Christmas tags, hang them on your tree, or to give them as gifts for people who have been on those trips with you. Hey, Darcy. Hello, hello. How did I become acquainted with Essential Stencil? Karen, you were cracking me up. Can I just tell you, I was like laughing at all of your comments earlier when I was doing my gift away, and I was trying to sneak over to that woman's house to give her the porch sign and that other painting that I did. I was laughing so hard at your comments. I dropped the camera. Well, I didn't drop it. It fell out of the stand in my car, fell on the floor, and you were like, oh my gosh, I'm getting car sick. I'm getting dizzy. I was giggling so much when I was reading your comments. Cracking me up. How did I get into sign making? I just have been for years just loving to do crafts and painting and just experimenting and like building a stash of paintbrushes and paints and painting furniture and anything. I just really love to do all those pretty things. And so I've been doing it for a very long time. And a few years ago, I decided to start sharing. When I became an designer for Chacatora, I started sharing my projects on Facebook, and so I started to have a following of people who were following me. It has been years. It's been at least 3 years that I've had the Comfynest page, and so it just kind of has evolved into that, where I do local workshops or I do virtual workshops like my craft therapy club. We've been doing, like, this is what we did this month in the craft therapy club. It's a virtual online craft club. We get together once a month and I do a live workshop. So I've just been, it's just kind of evolved and built into something as a business, and it started out like, oh, I'll earn a little extra money. Now this is what I do full time. So it just has evolved into that. It's been slow but steady growth. Hey, Teresa. And with Essential Stencil, I saw somebody else using them on Facebook. I ordered them because they looked great. I've been stenciling for a long time. I had a Cricut, I had a Silhouette. So I was cutting my own designs. And if any of you have those, you know how time consuming and difficult that can be, especially if you're making multiple signs to sell at vendor fairs or shows. It was so time consuming. So when I found Essential Stencil and started using them, they are a breeze to use. They're so easy. They're very well made. They're easy to clean. So it made perfect sense for me to just start using them. And then Essential Stencil and I just connected for me to start doing live videos to kind of promote what they've got going on. So that's how we built our relationship. How did I end up in North Dakota? My husband grew up in North Dakota. So isn't that fun? He grew up there. I went to college with his cousin, who was my best friend, and she introduced us on Cape Cod because my husband's family is from Massachusetts too. His mother grew up in south of Boston. So his whole family is pretty much on the East Coast as well. All right, let's do these maps. I love answering your questions. Okay, I'm going to show you how to just distress this a little bit to make it kind of ruddy and so it looks not so perfect. So you can take, like, I'm going to use gray. I normally use a brown paint to do this, but tonight I'm going to use gray. I'm just experimenting to see what that's going to look like. I got my little tin foil here. So this is what I use for a paint palette, is my tin foil. Let me get you down a little further. There, so you can see this better. I'm just going to take a tiny bit of paint. Let me open up this container. I'm just gonna get a tiny little bit of that paint on a paintbrush, mostly with water is what I want. So I have this bucket of water here that I've been cleaning my paintbrushes with. I'm gonna wet that to get it pretty moist, and then I'm gonna come in with just a tiny little bit of paint. Pick up a tiny bit of that, and I'm gonna offload most of it. I wanna make it really watery. I'm gonna wash it with this gray paint. I'm not gonna paint it. I'm just gonna put a wash over it. And then what I'll do is, once I've got the wash on it, I'm gonna come back with my little paint rag and wipe most of it off. So this is the tag, and then Mod Podge, a layer of Mod Podge, and then this is a map of North Dakota that I picked up at the rest area. Do you see how thin that paint is? I took it from, it's the Waverly Elephant color that I like so much, gray color. I wet my brush, I offloaded, I took just a tiny dab of paint and I offloaded most of it. And now I'm just washing it with this dirtied up paint color. So you just wanna get it covered. And then I don't want it to be that dark, so I'm gonna come in with my little rag here and I'm gonna blot some of it off until I'm kinda happy. You can rub, it's drying already, or you can blot it. But you just want to get some of that off now. You want it to look ruddy and dirty. You don't want to cover up the map. You don't want it to disappear on you. But you want it to look like it's been old and worn and used. And actually, I usually, like I said, I usually use a brown color. I wanted to try gray tonight to see what that would look like. Let's put a little brown on here too. Because now that I'm seeing the gray on there, I actually like the look of the brown better. So I've got just a tiniest bit of paint. I'm wetting my paintbrush because I want it to be a wash, like a paint wash. I don't want it to be the thick acrylic paint. I want it to be a wash. I think I do like the brown better. I think it looks more like aged paper. I wanted to try the gray. It's worthy. I experiment a lot, you guys. I don't mind taking risks and trying different things. It's way too dark for me. So I'm gonna wet my brush again and I'm gonna wet that paint, and then I'm gonna come in with my rag and I'm gonna try to wipe most of this off. I just want it to look really dirty, ruddy, like a map that's been really well used, so it doesn't look so darn perfect. I mean, we age, you know how when we do wood projects and we distress them, so we paint white on brown or brown on white, and then we come in with a piece of sandpaper and we distress it. It's basically the same thing. We took this really perfect, this is what the map color was before, and then when I put that wash of paint on it, that's what it looks like afterwards. So you can still read it, but I didn't want it to look so bright and perfect. I wanted to darken it up a bit. So you saw I just took my paintbrush, I dipped it in some, it was like dirty paint water. I added just a tiny bit of that paint and then made sure to like really dilute it a whole lot and then wash that over your paper. And you can do this with any paper. It can be a poem, it can be a hymnal book, it can be a hymnal sheet, it can be like music paper, it can be anything that you found, a page from your favorite book that you love, your classic book that you love. You can do any paper you want. Mom's old recipe printed on a piece of paper, and then you can like ruddy it up and dirty it up. I just love using maps, you guys. So I'm gonna let that dry a little bit and we'll come back to this. I gotta let it dry a little bit and we'll come back to this. This one, this tag that I did, I'm practicing my snowman because we're doing this snowman and I'm gonna offer it in a couple of different formats. Let me show you. In my craft therapy group this month. So this was, so he's gonna be for January, snowman. So it's a winter decoration, right? But I'm gonna put the hearts in there. I'm trying to incorporate the hearts so it can flow all the way over to Valentine's Day. I'm gonna have several different versions. And so I just keep practicing. I just keep practicing until I find the right version for my craft therapy group that I want to use. And so I was practicing tonight on a tag, and this is what I came up with. Just practicing. I wanted to try a necktie instead of a bow tie or a scarf. And so I put, same thing, it was a piece of paper. I used watercolor paints on it to create the snowman, and then I Mod Podged that on there. Okay, so if you wanted to dirty up the edges, and we can because the edges look a little bit bright, I could take that same paintbrush and just on my edges, I don't have to dirty the whole thing up. I can just go along the edges and just give that like a little wash of paint to kind of make it look aged and old and worn. And you see, I'm not being perfect about the placement of this. I need more water on my brush because it's not really spreading real well. But you can see I'm just like dirtying it up a little bit. I love this process of distressing things. So you add it on there, and then you can go back with your rag and just dry off some of it so it doesn't look so dark. And it's really forgiving because if your paintbrush is really wet, that paint will move around and it'll dilute on you a little bit once you re-wet it, so you can rework it if you don't like the way it looks. So I love this. I love playing with these things and playing with this process. So remember, I have my tag, then I put a layer of Mod Podge, and then my paper on top. This one and the other one has been drying for a while, the North Dakota one. Those had Mod Podge like a couple of hours ago. I did those. So I let them dry, and now I've added the wash of brown or gray. You can use whatever color you want. Paint on there so you can muck it up a little bit and make it a little bit dirty looking. And then again, I'm going to let this dry, and then we'll go back to them. So I'm going to put those aside, let them dry. We're going to get to the paper tags. What's the size of these wooden tags, Dawn wants to know. I'm going to measure them here on my little craft cutting board. They are 6 inches. They are 6 inches by, hold on, I'm working on it, Dawn. They're like 3.5 by 6. These are from Craft Deals. They have they have tags in all sizes. Here, let me show you. This was the 15-inch one that I used. Tags. I used and then glued together to make this door hanger. So they have little tags, they have big tags that work with all of the Essential Stencils. And remember, if you use my link, you can get that 10% off. Isn't that cool? Marie says, cool. Hey, Donna Jo. Hey, Deb in Missouri. She's watching from Missouri. Hello, hello. Stephanie says she loves the tags. Yeah, these would be great. They're going to be great hanging on a tree. You can put them on a gift, like you're bringing a bottle of wine over for a holiday dinner. You could hang this on the bottle of wine, or you can put it on a box of chocolates, or the cake that you made to share with family and friends. It just makes for a real... So the one side can be decorated. The other side, you could write a little note. Every year, our kids, my husband and I buy 4 large ornaments for my boys. They're 12 and 14. And every year, my husband and I, we each take an ornament for each kid. So it's 4 ornaments total, 2 for each boy. And we write long notes on the back of them. We make sure that they have a lot of writing space, and it's cute on the front. And then on the back, we write a note to kind of recap their year. And this part of their Christmas gift that we've given them. So every year they've had an ornament from mom and an ornament from dad, kind of talking to them about like what we're proud of that they've accomplished or done, or like fears that they've overcome, or things that they've started that they had never tried before. We just kind of recap their year for them, and that's part of the gifts that we give them. These would be great for that because you can write a nice long note on the back of that. And we just use like a Sharpie marker. If you just get like a fine point Sharpie marker, you can write a lot on the back of these and date them, and you can give them to your grandkids, your godchildren, your children, your husband, your wife, whoever's important to you. I'm going to put those aside though, because they do need to dry a little bit. And I want to show you what I did. I bought that paper. I told you I'm going to use this paper. Thank you for the hearts. It's really a fun way to acknowledge and celebrate the holiday every year with them. Hey, Joanne in Tennessee. Hello, hello. Hey, Nelva in Ohio. If you guys are new, tell me you're new. Say hello. Let me know that you're new to either Essential Stencil or the Comfy Nest, and I invite you, and I'm honored if you come over to the Comfy Nest with Grace Kurtz, my page, and if you go and like and follow my page, I would so appreciate it. I'm trying to get myself to 5,000 likes on my page, so if you contribute to that, I would be so grateful, so thankful to you. It's the only way that I can just organically meet new people. Like if you're sharing these videos these DIY videos that I do, it's helping Essential Stencil and to introduce me to all the friends and family that you know that might be interested in this stuff. Linda says, I found at an antique shop. It was a box of maps from so many different states. Oh my gosh, she says, I'm going to do these. You're welcome. She says, thank you. You're welcome. This is really, really a fun way to do it. And you can do it on any size. You don't need the little tags. You can do them on the big ones. Thank you, Crystal. She says, you're so creative. Karen says, I'm glad I made you giggle. I love your quick wit. I love it. I was laughing so hard. You guys, I lost you for a minute today when we were doing that live and I dropped the phone. The app closed. The app that I was broadcasting from closed. And I was like, I'm still here. And I opened it back up and there you guys were. You were still there. So I was really relieved that I didn't lose you completely. Mary says brown looks better. I think the brown looks better too on the tags. I think it just makes it look more ruddy and used up and old. Like that map has been used for a long time. And I'm a huge fan of maps. Okay, I'm going to show you on my paper what I did with these. So I bought this paper. I went to Michael's. 5.5 by 7.5 inch paper. It comes in white, at Michael's anyway. It comes in white, and this color is White Dove, which is like a creamy white or an off-white. You can buy the envelopes separately. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's the first aisle that you go into with all the scrapbook paper, and then they have like wedding invitation stuff there. But these are just plain. They are not, they don't have the fold in the middle of them, although you could fold them. They don't have that fold. They're just a straight cardstock in that size. And what I had been doing, what I've done is I was using, you can see I haven't even washed this yet. I was using the little mini tags to make Christmas cards. I mail off a lot of packages. My family is out on the East Coast. And I mail off some packages for Christmas. And so let me get a little red paint here. I have been making these. Uh-oh, I dropped my paper. I'll have to go get that in a minute. I've been using these with just some deep red paint and the stencil brushes to make these little cards. I gotta grab my stencil brushes here. They're missing. Somebody asked me today, oh, you guys, somebody asked me today and I forgot to get the answer about when these are going to be back in stock. These are the Essential Stencil brushes. They are out of stock right now. Be patient. They're working on getting them back. They've been very popular. They're great, great brushes. I'm going to show you. I'm going to grab a bunch of paint. I have way too much. Way too much paint. I'm going to offload most of it here on my tin foil. I only need a very dry brush. There we go. You don't need a lot of paint. You want it to actually be very dry. But then you can take any one of these tags that you like to make a little gift tag out of them. I have 2 pieces of paper here. Let me just get to one. And all I did, it's so easy, you guys. It's so easy. And I did this on that gift that I gave today, that Secret Santa gift that I did earlier today. I did a live where I Secret Santa. I went to visit a woman in my town who lost her husband this year, and I gifted her one of the porch boards, and I gifted her one of the paintings that I did, the painting that I did with my craft therapy group this month, that Ho 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 Santa. I gifted her those 2 things, and the card that I wrote out from her Secret Santa, it was one of these pieces of paper. It was this cardstock with this same exact design on it. So this is just cardstock, and it's red paint, and I'm just going in. Oh, I just moved it by accident. It kind of got budged on me. But look, that's all I do. And then I write my note underneath it. It just says Merry Christmas, and then I write underneath it to my nephews who I send gifts to. And you can do this with obviously any of these. I mean, there are so many to pick from. There's Tree Farm, there's Farm Fresh Trees, there's the Joy. Let's pick another one to do. These sets have several different options in each set. I really like the Santa. Let's do the Santa face. I really like this one. I do store these. Some people generally ask, how do you store them? I put them right back in their packaging, and that's how I store them. Because the packaging is so well made. It has all of the identifiers of what's in that package. It just makes it really easy to find what I'm looking for when I'm looking for a stencil. So this Santa head, of course, you can reverse it. He can go either way, whatever positioning you want. And on this one, I just put it up in the top middle, like centered. This one you could put almost anywhere. I kind of feel like it would be really cute on the lower, like right or left, and kind of at an angle. So let's go in. I'm going to go into my, where I was offloading, and pick up a little more paint. And I'm just going to do him all in red. You can change your colors if you wanted. Like if you wanted to do several colors, you could do that. But I just want it to look, I you know, I'm not looking for it to be like I put too much effort into it, but I want it to be cute and rustic looking, if that makes any sense. So I'm not looking for perfection. I'm just looking for a cute little note paper that I can write a Christmas greeting on that is handmade. Look at how cute that is, you guys. It's just easy and cute, right? And then when Easter comes, I have this huge pack of paper now. So when Easter comes, I can use the Easter tags. I can use the Easter stencils. I mean, I just bought the blank paper so that I could make whatever gift tags or cards I needed to send off to someone. Now, you could hole punch in this and put a ribbon on it and tie it to something if you needed to. But sometimes on a big boxed present that's already wrapped, what I did today was I just put a piece of tape on the four corners and wrote a note on it. And left that. I love that little Santa. Isn't he cute? He's like totally Jolly Saint Nick. That's him. That is Jolly Saint Nick. Right? All right, so we can use our gift tags to make paper, note tags, note cards. You can put it on paper bags. Like if you buy the bags from the dollar store, the gift bags, they come in all sorts of colors. You can get it brown, gift tag paper, or you can get it in like red, blue, green, white. It comes in every color, those little gift bags. You could put these in the corner, right? Or in the front and just write a little note on the front. It just makes it personalized and I think really fun for people to get the gift when they see it so personalized like that. Lynn says old music works well too, right? For these gift tags. I think you're right about that. I got to catch up with some comments because I can see I've missed a lot. We have 175 people on here. Like, hello, hey, all 175 of you. Oh my gosh, would it be fun if we hit 200? I'm going to give away 3 sets of stencils tonight at the end of this. So make sure you're sharing if you can, sprinkling or sharing. Hit the share button. Make sure you change your notifications so that you don't miss any lives. Thank you for the hearts. Jump over to the Comfy Nest page. Make sure that you're liking and following my page. Let's work with these. This is kind of dry now. So this is the one I just did, and I just Mod Podged the Massachusetts one. The Boston one, see that? It's backwards, but there it is. This is my hometown. I'm going to show you the difference. I'll put this down and you can see the difference between. Thank you for sharing, you guys. Maria, Sonia, thank you so much. Bible verses, Sherry. That would be awesome. You're right. Thank you for sprinkling, Christine. Oh, I love the idea of the Bible verses. You could take like an old, like I like using the hymnals, but you wouldn't have to. You could use a Bible and use Bible verses. That's a great idea. Mimi says, I'm so proud of myself for making so many gifts for Christmas. Isn't it fun? It's so fun and it's so meaningful. It's so meaningful. Okay, look at the difference. This is a brand new map, not dirtied up at all with my paint. Brand new, dirtied up. See the difference? So if you wanted to, you could keep it bright. You don't have to muddy it up. But do you see the difference between them? There is a huge difference in the look of the two of them. I like it to be muddied up, so I'm going to do the same process with this one. I put my tag, or my paintbrush right in my bucket of water here. So I'm going to come back in with this bit of brown paint. I'm going to water it down a lot. I'm watering down that paint. Let me see, can you guys really, want to make sure you guys can really see what I'm doing here. And I hate missing comments, but it's really hard to keep up with everybody's. Okay, so look at, we're just using a watered down brown and we're gonna try to kind of mimic that. So you just go right over your paper. Now there was Mod Podge between the tag and the paper. Now I have not put any sealer on the top of this yet. So I'm putting this wet brown water, I need more water here to water more down. I'm putting it right on top of the paper. So it kind of soaks it in, it kind of takes it in. And so it does need to dry for a few minutes. Like I had to let that one dry for a few minutes before I'm gonna paint on it. But I am gonna paint on this, you'll see here in a second. I'm gonna do something more to it. But you just wanna muck it up a little and then you can come in with your, like I just use a dirty rag. And it's paper, so if it gets really, really wet, you don't wanna put a lot of pressure and rub really hard. It will tear the paper. The paper, it's fragile. I mean, it's wet paper now. So I just go in and I rub a little bit of it off just to get some of the moisture. You can dab it off, but it just, there I'm going for that same effect. Now, this one has been drying. This one was just done, but let me show you. If your paper, you're gonna cut it out and hopefully it's gonna be pretty close to size, but if you have any paper overhang, I just have the littlest bit of paper overhang right here, you can just take a little scrap of sandpaper and just scratch the edges, and it really adds to that really worn look. If you go around and you smooth the edges out, I usually wait till it dries to do this, but that's all it takes is just going around and smoothing out those edges. This one is the wet one. I'm going to put it aside. This one has been sitting for a few minutes, so it's pretty dry. Let me get that extra paper off here. So now I'm going to use the stencil on top of this. I'm going to go right on top of this and I'm going to stencil. I can stencil whatever we want, really. Actually, what I had in mind for this, these gift tags fit perfectly. You could make these Christmas tags. Absolutely, you can. If I put it that way, you can read it because everything's backwards right now. Yeah, the sanded edges, Kim, it just makes it even more rustic. And it really smooths the edges out. If you have any extra paper overhang, it gets rid of that really quickly. So you see my hole is missing right here. The paper, I have not cut into it yet. But what I do to get my hole back, I kind of feel for where that little pre-drilled hole is, and I just stick the X-Acto knife in there, and I literally just turn it around until I get that hole. Oops, look at my blade. I knew this blade was loose. I just stick that hole in there until it, oh, good Lord, I don't want to cut myself. I told you guys earlier, I'm not really good with the tools. With the hand tools, this is not usually my skill set. I know just enough to use them. All right, I got that back on there. I stick this in the hole and I just turn it until it gets that paper all loosened up, and you can go in either with your paper and scrape that off there. I usually just do it with the X-Acto knife just to cut off the extra paper, and then it reveals your hole. You get your hole back so you can put your ribbon or your rope in there. Okay, that's just what I do. It's just the easiest way I find to do it. And of course you can do both sides. I don't have the other side done right now. You could paint this side whatever color you want. You can write a note on this side, which is my favorite thing to do, to write a personalized note. Or you can leave it plain, whatever you want. I wanted to do some stenciling on top of my map now. And so of course, we could use any of these stencils. Like if you live in Vermont, and there are a lot of tree farms, I think, in Vermont, you could use the tree farm on top of that. If you had a map of Vermont, or Minnesota has a lot of trees, like whatever, like if there's something that's meaningful to you. But what I was actually thinking, I pulled out my Valentine set, okay? It has 6 stencils. They're 6 by 6. It has February 14th, Be Mine. What does this one say? All you need is love, with the little arrow, the XO, the love, and the row of hearts. And I was trying to figure out what I could fit on here from this set, because I want this one. This is the Boston one, and I was thinking it would be really fun to just have this available to me year round. And I was kind of thinking that the All You Need Is Love would be really cute on here in red. Oh, this is the North Dakota one. I want this on the Boston one, which is still kind of drying. But what I was thinking is like a love token, right? You could put the word love right across that tag, or you could just put the arrow with the heart, which I love that one too. In fact, I think that's the one I'm going to do. So I'm going to take my same stencil brush. It's been sitting in water. I usually, you guys, when I'm working with my brushes and I put them aside for a while because I'm done with them, I usually put them in a bucket of water so that the bristles stay soft. Because if you don't do that and you just let them sit for a while you're working, the paint will dry on your bristles, and then it'll be hard to use that brush again. But I promise you, you guys, you can't, like my head is cut off. The heart would be really cute too, right, Susan? I'm going to do the heart and the arrow. And of course, you can do whichever one you want. So I put this in here, and then I usually push it against the side of the bucket to just get the excess water off. Same paint rag. I go in with that, and then I push it. And I'm not like messing with my bristles. I want my bristles to keep their form. So I generally just push it at an angle into this rag to get the excess water off, because I don't want to water down. When you're stenciling, you do not want a wet brush. You want it to be nice and dry. You want really thick paint, right? Beth King says she likes the heart also. Thank you for sharing, Betty. All right, so that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna put the heart on here. I dripped a little bit of water. No problem. Paper is very forgiving, I will tell you. Although if you get it really wet, it will just start to like crumble on you a little. So you do have to be careful with any papers that you're working with. You want to make sure it dries in between. I'm trying to decide. I don't want the word Boston to get covered up. I don't want that to get covered up. So I need to be pretty careful or selective about where I put the heart and the arrow. I don't want it to get covered up, and it's right in the middle. So I think I'm gonna just move this a little off to the side, and I'm gonna go in with that same really deep red paint. I just need more of it because that what I had in my offload pile here had dried up already. So can you guys hear my son is playing with he got an electric guitar for Christmas. We already opened their Christmas gifts because we leave on Saturday for our Christmas trip. And so they opened their gifts last weekend from us. So I don't know if you can hear that electric guitar, but he's downstairs practicing. All right, here we go. I'm going to do the arrow and the heart, both of them, because I think that would be really cute going down. This would make such a cute gift tag. You could make a few of these. This would make a really cute wedding gift too. You could do reds and whites and make them a few different gift tags that they could use to hang around their house. Oh my gosh, would that be cute? Like the town, 2 towns that they came from maybe, and then the town where they've settled down as a couple, a new married couple. That would be a really great gift. And you wouldn't have to do it on tags. You could do it on anything that you wanted to, really. You can stencil on anything that you want to. It doesn't have to be a gift tag. I'm just showing you another way to use the gift tags, and I love Mod Podging paper down as a background. And of course, I love using maps because I'm a huge fan of maps. I just told you that. I'm a huge fan of maps, but we talked about the fact that you could use any kind of paper. An old love letter that your dad gave to your mom when he was off to war, or wouldn't that be so romantic and fun? Or like someone said, Bible verses, or grandma's handwriting with her favorite muffin recipe, or it could be anything that you have a copy of. You could Mod Podge onto whatever surface you want, and then you could just use that as part of your decoration. So isn't that cute? So this could be up year round. Like I could hang that somewhere in my house and it could be up year round, right? It doesn't have to just be, tags don't have to just be for Christmas, right? You love the cow behind me? That's my little winter cow. Isn't he cute? Thank you. Those are the kind of projects we do in the craft therapy group, my little monthly craft group subscription. So if anybody's interested, you can private message me about that. Oh, Lisa, I'm so glad. She says, I learn a lot from your videos. I'm so glad. That's really good to hear. All right, so whatever you can think of. Let's make the North Dakota one. Let's do this one with a Christmas theme. Let's do that one. Let's find a Christmas tag to put on here. This one's already dirty. It's really cute, that vintage truck. Everybody loves it. I think I'm going to try it in black this time just to show you the difference. So I just did the red. Let me grab, I like this ink color from Waverly. It's a really, really dark, deep black. Let's try that on there and see what it looks like. I'm going to grab a bit of paint. I didn't even clean my brush, you guys. The black is going to overpower the red, so I'm not worried about it. I wouldn't try to go from black to red, but whenever I'm using black after another color, I don't even worry. Thank you, Joanne. She says, so smart and creative. Thank you for saying that. That's kind of you. Yeah, these are really fun to play with. They're really fun to play with. All right, so I have a little bit of black paint. Like I said, I did not clean my red off of there. It's still on there. It will blend with the black. I'm going right, look at how perfectly that fits over. This is the tag that I got from Craft Deals. The stencils from Essential Stencil fit perfectly and exactly on top, so there's no guesswork. You don't have to worry about anything. It just fits perfectly on there. I'm going to do it in black just so we can see the contrast, how different it might be from the red. You're going to see how dark this is going to be. It's going to be really bold and really obvious. You can go in little round circles, and people always ask, you know, what's the best way? Should we use makeup wedges? Should we use the foam pouncers? You can do whatever works best for you. I don't use the foam pouncers. I just don't. I use the makeup wedges and I use the brushes, but I find myself using the brushes more lately. They just seem to be more efficient. They're faster. And you can stipple, which are pounce, like up and down with these, or you can do little round circles. With stenciling, you want really thick paint. Do not water it down. Generally, you don't want to water it down. And less paint. You want less paint on your brush, not more. Do a very thin coat and go back and add more later. Just let it dry, and then once it's dry, you can go back and add a second coat. You don't want to try to go with one big, thick, goopy, wet coat of paint right away. You want to do two very dry coats. All right, I use the hinge method, which I hold down very firmly the stencil on top of the surface, and then I hinge this up to look at it and see if it's the way I want it to be. And I think it's great. I think it's perfect. Check that out, right? That shows up the black on a map shows up really well. And this is the map, you guys, this camera. I am struggling with this thing. This map is all distressed and dirtied up. Like, okay, where's my original map? I buried them. Hold on. Let me find one. It's just a reminder for those who are just coming on. This is the original map. Look how bright and white it is. This is the dirtied up one with the paint, right? It just makes it look old and aged. And you don't have to do these on wood tags. You know, you can buy the paper tags in this same shape at Michael's. You can buy a pack of 10 or 12 of them. Isn't it fun? Karen says she loves it. Mimi says, awesome, right? Those are so cute. Just some cute little gift ideas. You can get the paper tags and do the same thing that I did. Where did I just put my little paper tag that I made? Where? Oh, that's loud. Can you hear that? Can you guys hear that music? That is my son jamming with his electric guitar. Oh, I can't find my tag that I just made, that paper one. I cannot find it. I got Mod Podge, I got red paint, I got black paint. Oh my gosh, can you guys hear that? I think he's doing it on purpose. That little clown. And he's like, can you hear it, you guys? Patty says she loves the tag. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Here they are. Here are the paper ones, right? So you can buy the paper type tags that are in the same shape at the hobby stores, like the craft stores. If you want the thicker tags, the wood ones, go to Craft Deals, use my coupon, and then you can get these thick tags. You can do both sides. You don't have to just do one, but I would let this dry completely. And then I would put a top coat or a sealer on top of it and then go to the other side. The other side can just be painted black, or you could put a whole nother map on the other side. It's totally up to you. This one's completely dry, so I'm gonna put the Mod Podge on top. I'm gonna show you that. Kind of like to go through the whole process so you know how to do it. It's good background music, Robin. I love it. I'm glad you think so. He is so into 70s rock and roll. He's 14. He loves, I think he's coming in here because he knows I could hear him. He just got an amp with an electric guitar, and it is loud. We can hear you, London. Are you coming in to tell me? Oh, no, he's not coming in. We can hear him, right? Okay, so here's my tag that was done. Here's my Mod Podge. Yeah, we could hear you. Oh, no, that's Landon. Gannon, I mean. We can totally hear that electric
Landon.
guitar.
He's like, hey, I want to play for you. And I'm like, I'm good. And then he's like, okay. And he turns it up to max. And he's like...
I didn't hear your piano going. My little musicians,
well,
these two.
I'm trying to, watch something. And he's like...
He's jamming. He's having fun with his new stuff. Isn't that hilarious? Look what I made. That's the map of Boston.
Yeah.
With a heart. Isn't that cute? And this one's North Dakota. I like the Merry Christmas one, you guys. I really like how that one turned. I actually do like it better than the heart because it fills the tag more. This one just seems a little bare. That one fills really well. Those tags fit perfectly. Those tag stencils fit perfectly on these tags. All right, so here's a bit of Mod Podge on my brush. Bye. And goodbye, buddy. We're just going to go over this tag. Abby said hello, Ganny. She said, hi, buddy. He said, peace out, brother. Peace out, he said. Thank you, you guys. He's so cute. That's my 12-year-old. All right. I like 70s. Sounds good. I'm glad you think so, Betty. Me too. I like it. I like that music too. All right. So now we're just going to put a little bit of Mod Podge on here to, my brush started to get a little crusty because it's been sitting for a few minutes. You know, when you use Mod Podge, I like the matte Mod Podge. You can get the glossy. I don't like it. I'm working on paper, so I can't keep going over the same section over and over again or the paper's going to start to rip. So you do have to be a little cautious about that. My brush is a little, like, it started to harden up because I've been talking and working for so long. I put on a nice thick coat. It looks like Elmer's glue. Just like Elmer's glue, it'll dry clear. But I like to put a nice thick coat so it protects my surface. It protects that work that I just did. So I'm going to put a nice thick coat on there and it'll dry clear. I do want to make sure that I don't clog. See that? It almost looks white on there. It'll dry clear though. I want to make sure that I don't clog my little hole. See that little hole there? I'm going to go back in. You could go in with like a scissor, or I'm going to go back in here with this X-Acto knife and pull out that little bit of extra Mod Podge because I don't want that to get clogged. I want to be able to easily put my ribbon or rope through there. So that's it. Now this one I did with watercolors. And like I said, it was just a piece of, let me show you. I will show you what I did. Hold on, we'll let that little one dry. I have not put Mod Podge on this one yet. I could do that one too. And then I'll show you what I did with that snowman. And you know, with Mod Podge, it doesn't really matter which direction you go. For the most part, it's going to dry clear. So for the most part, you won't see brush marks. If you get the glossy, you might see brush marks. But if you get like the matte, I don't hardly ever see brush marks. I mean, it's really clear and easy to work with. So I'm going to coat that up because I want it to be very well protected. And I want it to be an even coat. I completely, look at my hole for my string is completely filled in. So just make sure you go back in there with something and pull out that extra Mod Podge. You don't want to block that. It will dry, it'll harden up. So you want to clear out that hole so that you can still put your string in there. And I usually just use that same rag to clean that off. I'll show you what I did with this snowman and what paper I used. Oh, this is the wrong book. Here's my book. Okay, this is the book I used to practice. Do you have to wait for it to dry before you seal it with Mod Podge? I do. Yeah, you should wait till it dries to seal it. It doesn't take very long. It truly doesn't take very long. These are just tiny little tags with a little bit of moisture on them. It's not a ton of moisture. And I was dabbing the moisture off with that rag, so there really wasn't a lot of moisture there. Okay, I use these books to practice. These media, the one that I'm using is a mixed media book. So I can do watercolor on this paper, but I paint on it. This is acrylic paint. You can use acrylic paint on it. I was practicing my snowman, different snowman faces. This is what I used to sketch and practice. But this is where I cut, this is the paper that I use to cut out my little tag. That's exactly where that piece of paper came from. It was this mixed media book. I traced it and then I painted the snowman on the traced paper that I cut out. I painted it with watercolor paints. And then I just put a layer of Mod Podge and just stuck it on there. So now there's no Mod Podge on the top of that. But here's the deal. This is watercolor paint. It's not acrylic paint. So if I take my Mod Podge, my wet Mod Podge, and I run it in layers and I brush over my watercolor paint, it will probably smudge it and smear it. The wetness is going to reactivate the pink color. That's basically how watercolored paints work. So I'm not going to use a Mod Podge and a brush on this. I will use a spray Mod Podge on this, a spray polyacrylic top coat, because I don't want to, if I use a wet brush on this and start brushing with wetness, it's going to smear all my colors. I could probably show you. I can show you. Just hang tight. Where is my little I'm constantly doing this, you guys. Like, where is it? Am I the only one who's really disorganized in the craft room? Joanne says, always such great tips. Oh, Karen loves the maps. I'm so glad. Yep, you can use a spray polyurethane, a spray Mod Podge would work fine. This is watercolor paint. So this is a watercolor brush, and it it drips water down into these like little acrylic bristles. And I just got it onto my other tags. Let me wipe that off. Okay, so it drips it into the tip of that brush, and then you just start moving the paint around. If I wet this edge, you'll start to see. If I wet that edge and I start moving it around, the paint, like, it'll disappear. It'll move on you. Like, can you see that my border line is getting fainter and fainter with that water? Can you see that? It just moves the paint. It moves it around. It makes it disappear. So I have no paint on here. It's just water. So it basically erases my project. Now, so if I went in on this with a wet Mod Podge brush and I try to brush Mod Podge over on this, it's just going to smear my watercolor paint. So either use acrylic paints to paint on the tag, and then you can use Mod Podge in a brush form, or find any spray adhesive you want, and you can spray it on top of these tags. With your stencils, when you're stenciling, we're generally using either chalk paint or acrylic paint, so you can use your Mod Podge. That'll work just fine. It's not going to move once it's dry. So it's still wet though. You can see that Mod Podge is still wet. See that? So these are so cute. Aren't they fun? These little map tags that you can do. So when you're using, really encouraging you, when you're using your stencils, whether it be for Christmas, Valentine's Day, it doesn't matter, the season, you can really think out of the box. You don't have to just stencil on top of painted surfaces. You can use your maps, you can use any kind of paper you want and Mod Podge it onto a surface, and it adds a whole nother dimension. Watercolor paint is so fun, Trish. It is so fun, but it is like really slippery. As soon as it gets wet, it starts moving. I do too. I love the truck on the map. I like this one better. I like the way that one turned out better. I like the black on the map. I think it stands out more than the red. Now these both have a really thick coat of Mod Podge still on them, but I think I like the black better. You guys tell me, do you like the black? Or do you like, everybody says they love my cow picture. Maybe we'll do that in the Craft Therapy Club one month. That little cow. So cute, right? Which do you like better, the red or the black? I think the black. I think the black. I think the black looks very like newspaper ink-ish on top of the faded map. The red, I don't know. I like the black better. Yeah, so I see a few people, Donna saying black, Rita saying black, Sonia saying black. But isn't it fun to just experiment, right? So you try different things until you figure out what you like, and then you can make a whole set with black if that's what you like. The truck is just darling. The truck is adorable on there. All in black. Yeah, I'm seeing black. Everybody likes the black one. So now you learned it here on my live. If you're going to try it, we like the black better. We like the black better. But red is fun for Valentine's Day. Or for wedding gifts too. Black is so classic right now, even in Farmhouse. Like, everybody loves Farmhouse. Connie says she likes the truck. Me too. The music sheets would be beautiful. I do have a hymnal book that I got. I have a couple of them, actually. I really love old hymnal books. And it kills me to tear a sheet out of them. I've been known to do it, to tear a sheet out of it for a project, but I don't like doing it. I lost the cover to my little brush. All right, let's pull some names. Let's pull some winners. Let me remind you before I do that, if you are interested in the snowman, doing the snowman, the Build a Snowman stencil for the Stencil of the Month Club, it is open. It's always open to enroll. You can always, like if you have friends who are thinking about it, it's always open for enrollment. When you enroll determines which stencil you get for the first month. Today and tomorrow are the last 2 days that you can get the set that I designed, the Build a Snowman, which is this set with all the stencil, or all the accessories for the snowman. It comes with the background, the stars. Oh, it would look better that way. So it comes with the stars and the snowflakes. And it comes with the big snowman, and let nothing dim the light that shines from within. Okay, so that's the main set. if you join now, today and tomorrow are the last 2 days that you can get the set, and then it goes away. Okay? So if you have friends who are thinking about it and they like this set, they can sign up for a month and get this set. They can cancel anytime. You can sign up for 1 month, 3 months, or 6 months. If you sign up for 6 months, you get a 20% discount and you get the little apron. There's always an add-on option that you can add on to enrollment. And the month that I did, it was Shine Bright Like a Diamond. Each month that will change. The add-on will be different. So if anybody is interested, today and tomorrow, the last 2 days to get the snowman, use my code, thecomfynest. You get either 10% off your order from the Essential Stencil page or $5 off your first month with the monthly club. Mimi says, if you haven't got it, go do it. It's so versatile. Yeah, it is super versatile. Love that. It's been so much fun. So when you enroll in the club, you don't just get the stencils, you also get enrolled in the private, there's a private group on Facebook just for Essential Stencil of the club members. So only club members are in there and the brand ambassadors. So we have been just having so much fun sharing our projects in there and our inspirations and all the things that everybody's been doing. That's been really a very big benefit of being part of the club. So you're all welcome to join us in there. So go ahead if you guys are going to order. Let me pull some names. What I do is I'm going to randomly go through all the comments. I'm going to kind of pull 3 names of people who are going to win. Those 3 people need to email support@essentialstencil.com with your mailing address and your email address, and then they will send to you a set of stencils. I will send to Essential Stencil the name of the 3 people that I drew, so they'll cross-check. Whoever emails them, they'll cross-check with the names that I submit. So then once they match up, they'll send you guys a set of stencils. So 3 people will win. Did I glue those big tags together? I did. I just used wood glue, and I did do a live showing you guys how to do that. They're just glued on the back. I put a little bit of wood glue there. I put something really heavy on them and let them sit overnight. That way when, because when you position them on your door, they tend to cover each other up. It's just what gravity does to them. But if you glue them together with a little bit of wood glue, it works perfectly. And I did do that on a live here on Essential Stencil. It might be on my page. I'm not sure, one of the 2. You can look for that if you want to see how to do that. All right, let's see. Oh, Judy. Oh, she's saying, I enrolled, but I didn't get my $5 off. What you need to do, Judy, is to just email subscription@essentialstencil.com. Tell them what happened. Tell them what code you want to use to get your $5 off. So that would be the Comfy Nest, and they'll make sure that you get that credit. Cynthia says, I love that the group is sharing ideas. It's been so fun. It's been awesome in there. Becky's ready for the January stencil. I think we all are. It's been so exciting to use the snowman, but we're ready for a new set. All right, let me pull 3 winners. 3 winners. Hold on. You guys, it has been so weird with Facebook. I think we say this to you all the time, like the brand ambassadors, we're just like baffled by what Facebook is doing, because sometimes we can see the comments, sometimes we can't see the comments. So thankfully tonight I can see them so that I can pull 3 winners. So here are 3 winners. The first one is Marsha Hooped. I think that's her last name. Gosh, I hope I said it right. Marsha, H-O-U-P-T. You are a winner. The comment that won you, have it, just haven't had time to use it. Love the quote you used, and the snowmen are so cute. I'm so glad you love it, Marsha. I'm so glad you're part of the club, and you just won. So you make sure you message support@Essential Stencils so they can send you a set of stencils. Our next winner is Mary Dufresne Edwards. So Mary, I gotta write the names down so I can tell them who the winners are. Mary Dufresne Edwards. The comment that won you, so you out Mod Podge as your sealer. I think she meant put. Use? I do. Sometimes I use Mod Podge. It's really easy to use on these. It's really handy. Look, it's already dry. I love Mod Podge. The brush on is easy, and I have this big, huge vat of it. I like the mat. All right, one more winner. I'm going to pick one more winner. I'm going to go way back in the comments. Our next winner is Kathy Weagle. Kathy, W-E-A-G-L-E, Weagle. Her comment that won her a set says, sounds more like a horn. Good job. I imagine she's talking about the guitar. I thought what I imagine she's talking about. So Kathy Weigel, Mary Dufresne Edwards, and Marsha Hooped, 3 winners. You guys need to message. It's support@essentialstencil.com with your email address and your mailing address, and they will send you a free set of stencils. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for sharing. I am always honored and thankful and grateful. I know Essential Stencils honored and thankful and grateful, and so am I when you share our videos, you share our demos. Feel free to share them with anybody that you think might be interested or find value out of them. And please hop on over to the Comfy Nest page. Find me on Facebook, The Comfy Nest with Grace Kurtz, and please like and follow my page. I am honored if you do that. So appreciate your company. It's so fun to get to know you guys. And feel free to private message me anytime you have a question or you need my discount codes. I'm so willing to help you guys get those and use them. Have a beautiful, blessed night. I will be back. It'll be after Christmas because I'm Thursdays. So I'll be back after Christmas. I will be coming live next time from Florida because my family is going on vacation. We're going down to Florida from North Dakota. We are looking forward to the good weather and the sunshine. My next live will be coming to you from Florida. So I will see you then. You have a beautiful, blessed, relaxing Christmas holiday with your family and friends. Take care.